West Creek Conservancy is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we are proudly celebrating our 23rd year of land and water conservation throughout Northeast Ohio. My name is Derek Schaefer, and I'm the executive director with the organization, and I'm proudly supported with 4 other staff members, 18 board of directors, and a cohort of volunteers that help support our mission in Northeast Ohio. Common in the organization, we use 3 words: protect, restore, connect. We take an inherent watershed conservation approach with fee simple acquisition or conservation easement or environmental covenants. The list below is just a truncated list of the partners that we work with for acquisition, restoration, and other watershed planning services throughout our service area. A highlightable project of 2020 was the Brandywine Conservation Initiative, boasting 202 acres, over 350 acre-feet of storage, 2 miles of waterway. This was a quick-to-action project where West Creek Conservancy had to jump on the opportunity and preempt a bid for public auction and acquire the property to protect it in perpetuity. Specifically within the West Creek watershed, in 2020 we leveraged a little over $2 million to protect 2 key linkage parcels, expanding the reservation, and this was done in partnership with the City of Parma, Cleveland Metro Parks, and the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. These acquisitions will require significant impervious surface removal, and then they can be integrated into the park, trail, and greenway system. Since 1997, we have incrementally acquired, protected, and assembled parcels of land up and down West Creek, again a headwaters to confluence approach, protecting land and restoring its ecological integrity, and this can only be done in the strong partnerships that we have formed in the 23-year history. What is not to be ignored is also the public accessibility component of the West Creek Greenway. With over 44,000 residents within a 1-mile radius, creating public access points creates a social care of these green spaces, hopefully inherently creating more stewardship activities while access is permitted for recreational usage. At the organization, we take a headwaters to confluence approach to restore the ecological integrity of West Creek. In 2020, we completed our final projects at the headwaters of West Creek, a middle reach section of West Creek, and completed our stewardship and maintenance activities on lower West Creek, all in an effort to provide ecological functionality throughout the watershed. In partnership with the Nature Conservancy, we work to preserve this 117-acre site located at the headwaters of the Cuyahoga River in Montville Township. Over the course of 2020, design and engineering and natural resource inventories were completed to guide the restoration of 40 acres of wetland, vernal pool, and significant stream restoration. A great deal of our work centers around reclamation, literally the removal of unsustainable development in an effort to provide riparian area, streamside forest, floodplain access. It's a long-term vision that is costly, but it also provides an opportunity to integrate green space with our gray infrastructure and provide long-term cost savings for our communities and public access. One of our more complicated projects was the preservation and the integration and repurposing of the former Palmerdale campus, and to date we have removed over 12 acres of impervious surface, leveraging a little over $1.675 million to do so, and this will effectively integrate the 80 acres into the West Creek Reservation, providing restored ecological integrity as well as public access. Again, the removal of unsustainable development, the retrofitting of the built environment needs to complement green space conservation and watershed restoration, whether it's the Cree Bay Bakery project done in cooperation with Big Creek Connects in the city of Cleveland, or the removal of 12 acres of impervious surface at the former Palmerdale campus, all in an effort to restore ecological integrity. Irishtown Bend is a 23-acre site along the west bank of the Cuyahoga River in downtown Cleveland. The West Creek Conservancy's real estate services were sought to preserve the 1/2 mile of river, the hillside, and 2 large structures on top near West 25th in Detroit. This was done in partnership with the Port Authority, Ohio City Incorporated, Land Studio, the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, and many more. The former Haydite mine, located in the City of Independence, is the city's oldest business, and it officially closed in 2019 when West Creek Conservancy accepted the donation of the very valuable piece of property that will soon be integrated into the Cuyahoga Valley National Park once West Creek Conservancy completes the necessary reclamation and restoration activities on the 100-acre site adjacent to Hemlock Creek Trail. Watershed management is done throughout Greater Cleveland with many of our partners, whether that's stream assessments, site assessments, mitigation analysis, high-level mapping, or natural resource inventory, grant writing, and management. We help our communities leverage restoration dollars or acquisition dollars, as well as provide landowner site visits and recommendations for natural resource management. Stewardship is just one of the inherent things that this organization has to work with, whether it's cleanups, urban infrastructure, protecting conservation land via encroachment enforcement, and dealing with illicit dumping and other brownfield remediation issues. It's a dirty part of our job, but it's necessary to keep intact the integrity of our conservation properties. Even though 2020 required quite a bit of pivoting in terms of volunteer and stewardship activities, we were still able to plant over 3,300 trees, perform the necessary maintenance that we have on a multitude of stormwater control projects, install various deer excluders at reclamation projects where we removed and reforested various properties, and revegetated our demolition sites. Watershed planning via NIPSIS or Watershed Action Plan is also within our scope of services to our partners throughout Greater Cleveland, whether that is continuing to update currently endorsed plans or assisting it with the completion of new plans, all in an effort to help leverage and capitalize on local investment in terms of land conservation and natural resource restoration. Community outreach and engagement in 2020 definitely required a bit of adjustment. So we needed to provide virtual resources, weekly nature fixes, create new imagery that would capture people's attention on print and social medias, cross-promote our partners' information. Our typical fundraisers were deferred until a later date. Cleanups and plantings became more individual acts of conservation. Projects and tours still happen, but on truncated group sizes. As I mentioned, in terms of outreach, we really needed to create new imagery that was capturing people's attention and exemplifying what floodplain is, for example, showing them the before and after of these heavy volume events that we've all been experiencing, and how vital of a resource and underutilized of a resource floodplain for preservation, connection, and recreation is in our urban communities. Protect, restore, connect, the common three words that this organization leans on: preserving land in perpetuity, restoring ecological functionality, retrofitting the built environment, maintaining and stewarding restoration projects, stormwater control projects, green infrastructure initiatives, all in an effort to restore watershed integrity through a watershed-based approach. Thanks for your time.